All right, hey everybody, welcome back to more. So you know him as Steve Sanders on the 90s hit series Beverly Hills 90210. But in a couple weeks, ladies, you're going to know him as the naked Chippendale. No, I'm kidding. He's going to be a Chippendale over at the Rio. And here with more is my good buddy, Ziering. Ziering, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Nice to see you again, Mom.
Nice to see you too. I got to tell everybody, Ian and I hosted the
Chinese New Year.
The Chinese New Year, and it was the model search. It was the Miss Chinese New Year?
Yes.
It was a pageant, right? We had great fun down on Fremont Street. But, my friend, you didn't tell me what was coming up next.
I didn't know what was coming up next. You know, as an actor, every gig's got a closing curtain. You never know what the next opening night's going to be.
Yeah, I got to say, you look good. Now, the last time I saw you, you looked like you were in great shape, but you've lost weight since the last time we chatted.
Well, when TMZ calls you fat in the same week that Chippendales calls you to host the show, kind of really lights a fire under your tush a little bit.
It does.
And you know what? I've always been passionate about health and fitness, taking care of myself.
Yeah.
Not just from the inside out, but from the outside in. And, you know, with a baby and a pregnant wife, you become last. I mean, taking care of myself was my last concern over the last year.
Right, I hear you. I hear you.
Doing the best I can to keep my head above water, but, you know, it was providing for my family, just doing everything I can to thrive.
Yeah.
And you kind of take a back seat. And, you know, to TMZ's defense, I had put on, you know, a few pounds. I was probably about 10 pounds over.
Well, obviously, your wife wasn't complaining.
Well, you know, she was getting good foot rubs and back rubs and, you know, strawberry French toast every morning. So I couldn't help but taking a little bit off the plate.
Very good. Okay, so I know when Caprio calls, the man in charge of the Chippendales, I know when he calls, everybody comes running. Okay, so I've seen the Chippendales show. Right. So
I saw it last night for the first time.
What are your thoughts? Because we've seen a whole lot of behinds in the show. Are we going to see your behind in the show?
You know, that was my first concern when I got the call from my agent. I said, well, you know, my first thought was like, oh my God, I saw Chris Farley dancing with Patrick Swayze, and I was like, you know, that guy. I'm like, oh no, I can't. But he says, well, yeah, you know, wearing the iconic bow tie and the French cuffs is part of the gig. I said, and then he said, you know, and then it's negotiable.
It's negotiable?
Well, you know what? I've worn a bathing suit in public and on TV before, so it's certainly not going to be anything more than that.
But, Ian, you still haven't answered the question. Are we going to see your behind on stage?
My behind, you're going to have to come to the show to check it out for sure.
That's the politically correct answer.
Well, you know, mystery raises libido. And this is what they're selling, so I'll have you come on down and check it out. I'm very excited. The show last night, it was, you know, I didn't really know what to expect. You know, my wife went to see the Magic Mike show and, you know, hearing all those other things. I didn't know what to expect, and I saw the show, and it's really more flirty than dirty.
Yeah, you know what? It's one of the best productions, I believe, in Las Vegas. And, you know, a lot of people say, you know, you're going to see the naked guys, but it is so well coordinated, such a great production. I think you're going to do a great job. With all your experience in TV, on stage, my friend, I think you're going to be just fine.
I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah. You know, I'm just getting into the best shape that I can.
Good for you.
I don't really take myself. I mean, these guys are like carved out of stone.
Yeah, we see them a lot.
6'5", 240-pound, twisted steel and sex appeal. Seriously, I walked into the room last night to meet all these guys. Michael, the gentleman you just mentioned, introduced me to everyone, and they couldn't have been nicer, more welcoming.
Yeah,
just a bunch of great guys and very supportive, and it's pretty intimidating. You know?
Yeah,
it's like I'm not 6'5", 240 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal. I'm like 6 feet tall.
My friend, listen, you hold your own. I think you're doing well. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks so much. You gonna come see the show?
Yeah, I think I'll come see the show.
Okay.
Wait, is my husband watching? Anyway, all right. Thank you, Ian. We appreciate it. Okay, Rachel, so what? Is this going to be a girls' night out? What are we going to do?
I'm very supportive. I am supportive. I like to have thorough research. I'm just saying. And it's been at least 3 weeks since I've been, so it's about time.
3 days.
That's less dirty and more flirty. That could be a new slogan. Make sure you get 10%.